I am so sick and tired of seeing journalists, actors, even project directors for other companies try to get things banned because they don't like them or because they don't find the appeal in them. Let's look at anime, for instance. There are some people out there who think that anime should be illegal and they call it disgusting and say it promotes really terrible things just because they don't understand it and because they don't enjoy it. And we are seeing the same exact thing happen with a new military game that's supposed to be coming out finally after years of controversy. Now, 6 Days in Fallujah originally was announced all the way back in 2009, but because of controversy, Konami actually pulled out of publishing it, and the project kind of went cold because the developer group Atomic Games went bankrupt in 2011. But in February of 2021, Highwire Games announced that they'd be finishing it and releasing it in like late 2021. We don't have an exact date yet, but we do know that they are supposed to be releasing it this year. And now the controversy has started back up yet again. Game journalists, voice actors, project directors, YouTubers, there are quite a few of them actually, are all coming together trying to get this game banned because they don't like it and because they don't understand it. I have several references that I want to make, but here is the first article that we are going to start with. Fear-mongering petition to ban 6 Days in Fallujah because it will breed a new generation of shooters promoted by mainstream video games industry. I am so disappointed to see this. I think that this is such a step back in the industry. To see people who are saying, oh, games should be banned just because they don't like them, because they think they promote bad things. You should never rally for games or books or entertainment to be banned just because you don't like it. So a new petition calls for the Iraq war-based FPS 6 Days in Fallujah to be banned on the grounds that it will breed a new generation of shooters. It also claims it will normalize the killing of Iraqis for the next round and brainwash gamers into thinking that racism is okay. The petition began to circulate on social media due in part to heavy endorsement and promotion from members of the mainstream video game industry. I am so disappointed to see this. This petition is absolutely ridiculous. In this petition, they try to spread lies and false information. They provide no scientific evidence of the claims that they're making. They basically try to say that video games cause violence in the real world, and that is not true at all. There are thousands and thousands of studies out there that say there is no scientific link between real-world violence and video games, yet they try to say that there is, but of course they provide no evidence, they provide no studies which prove their point. Now, continuing on, it says, created on March 24th and addressed to various governmental bodies, including the United Nations and U.S. President Joe Biden, the sensationalist and fear-mongering petition claims that 6 Days in Fallujah not only promotes the mass murder of Iraqis by American invaders, but also normalizes the bombing, shooting, and humiliating of the Iraqi people. This is so ridiculous, because the people that created this petition and the people that are outraged on social media literally haven't even read this Steam description for this game. They're saying things like it promotes the mass murder of people and the bombing and shooting of people. And it says Victura and Highwire Games announced the release of a horrific video game called 6 Days in Fallujah that promotes the mass murder of people. And to add insult to injury, a demo of the game was circulated on the 18th anniversary of the Iraq War, an illegal invasion and occupation by U.S. forces and their allies. Now, there is a ton to unravel here. There are just layers like an onion to this story. These are the people who they hope to reach. Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve. President Joe Biden of the White House, like he could do anything about this situation. Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, the CEO of Sony Japan, the Secretary General of the UN, and the CEO of Microsoft. Now, if we go back to the article really quickly, I want to show you all what game journalists and voice actors and some YouTubers are actually saying about this, that they are rallying behind the ban of this game. So someone said, please take time to sign this petition to stop the making a game that intends to normalize and trivialize the murder of my fellow Iraqis. This is a Warner Brothers Games Montreal lead game designer currently working on Gotham Knights, a game that I'm sure there are going to be many people who aren't going to support it now. The game and narrative designer for Square Enix's Marvel's Avengers. It's already a dead game, so no one has to stop supporting it. I signed this. Not all games deserve to be made. I think that is disgusting. I think that all games deserve to be made. There's someone out there who's going to play them. There's someone who put their time and effort into creating it. I don't agree with this at all whatsoever. And then we have a Respawn Entertainment designer working on Apex Legends, which this does frustrate me a little bit because I really do like Apex. I think it's a good game. But they said done. Frustrating and disappointing that of all the settings and themes they could have chosen or created, they instead went with war criminals have feelings too. Now just wait until we take apart their argument. And even Jennifer Hale, who voices Ashe in Overwatch, and female Commander Shep said signed. She actually did redact this. She did end up deleting this tweet, probably because she realized, oh, I probably shouldn't say that I openly support censorship of video games. But even Yong, said 6 Days in Fallujah is controversial because it's treated like a documentary, not a dramatized or fictionalized story. There are plenty of war games out there that do the same thing, that are treated like documentaries and aren't fictionalizing history, but documentation of real history has a responsibility to truthfully present all angles lest it become propaganda, and so far this game is failing to do that, which is actually incorrect because he says that they have a responsibility to truthfully present all of the angles. If we go to the Steam store page, the first line, the first description of this game is 6 Days in Fallujah is a first-person tactical shooter that recreates true stories of Marines, soldiers, and Iraqi civilians during the toughest urban battle since 1968. If you go to their website, they say, and they list people who they've worked with who were Iraqi civilians who went through this experience, their stories that they plan to tell in this game. They are telling multiple perspectives in this game. It's not just of soldiers, it's not just of fighters, it's of Marines, soldiers, and also civilians, which I think is so extremely important to point out here. I think that unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that they are trying to tell multiple point of views here, which is more than like Call of Duties do. It's more than what 80% of games in this genre are like. The two newest Call of Duties put in short civilian point of view missions, which were pretty good, but before that, one of the largest military shooter series ever didn't, and I think that that is extremely important to point out here. This game isn't just a Call of Duty where you're killing characters and you're only in it for an exaggerated story. It's got multiple point of views in it, so it's not just the same spray and pray game. And I don't really see these journalists going after the newest Call of Duty or the last one. I don't want them to. I think that these games should 100% be able to exist. I think that people should be able to create the games that they want and create the entertainment that they want, but I don't see these journalists going after those companies. They always say these games are really good and they've really enjoyed them, so why is this one any different? This game, unfortunately, was successfully canceled once because Konami had pulled out of the project. They didn't want to publish it, and then the game went cold, which I did mention. But these people are openly admitting that they want to get this game deplatformed. They want it canceled, and they want the developers to cave to outrage. Do these people not know that games are a protected form of expression? There is no way that this game can get banned in the United States, no matter how many petitions you try to create and start and try to, list people like President Joe Biden. There's no way that this game is going to get banned. Games are a protected form of expression. Maybe the developers will cave into outrage and cancel the game, but I really hope they don't. And I kind of doubt that they'd try to re-release it all these years later if they weren't prepared for some sort of backlash. I just want to point to the mtsu.edu article really quickly. The First Amendment Encyclopedia. Video games. This was updated in 2017. The U.S. Supreme Court has explained that video games are a form of expression entitled to First Amendment protection. In Brown versus Entertainment Merchants, 2011, the court explained, like the protected books, plays, and movies that preceded them, video games communicate ideas and even social messages through many familiar literary devices and through features distinctive to the medium. That suffices to confer First Amendment protection. The court in Brown invalidated a California law that prohibited the sale or rental of violent video games to minors without a parent present. The decision rejected the concept of violence as obscenity, reasoning that the concept of obscenity is relegated to areas of sexual expression. The court's decision also showed a gradual move in American courts to recognize that video games were a medium of expression deserving of free speech protection. Now, unfortunately, we could see a situation happen where individual platforms ban this game. We could see Steam, Sony, Microsoft ban this game off of their platform, but honestly, I don't think that that's going to happen here. They've been strict when it comes to games, and they have been censoring games, but they've mainly been targeting Japanese games, anime games. We haven't seen them really censor a lot of violence. Now, this could happen with Sony specifically because we have been hearing rumors that Sony is cracking down on violence on their platforms. So if that happened, that would be a very unfortunate situation, but there's no way that you could get the government to ban this game. You can't get the United States to ban this game when it's protected. To me personally, it is so heartbreaking in a way to see people try to cancel a game just because they don't like it or because they don't understand it. And clearly a lot of these people don't understand the game because they're saying things like it's just a game that, promotes war criminals and war criminals have feelings too. And there's even people saying, they need to present all angles lest it becomes propaganda when the game literally does promote multiple angles. They are trying to tell multiple point of views here, which is so much more than a lot of games in this genre do. I feel really bad for these developers because all of those years ago, the game got canceled over outrage, and now we're here again and it's trying to be released and there's outrage yet again. Fake outrage, unfortunately. To see people attack and try to cancel a game or a show or even a movie because they don't like it is one of the most pathetic things that happen online. People get so petty, they want careers ruined because how dare someone create something outside of the box? How dare a group of people make something they want? And I hope that this game comes out. I hope that it sells great, and I really just hope that people love it just to spite these journalists and voice actors. But let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like and share it. Retweet the tweet that I will put out about this. It will be in the description and the pinned comment. And of course, if you didn't like this video, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.